House Bolton are a house as ancient as the Starks of Winterfell, and once just as powerful, ruling large parts of the north as the Red Kings from the Dreadfort. Their land once reached from the Last River and the White Knife. It has been suggested that the legendary Night's King was a Bolton, but this Night King has been attributed to many people over the years, including Starks. There's also the possibility he may not have even existed at all. Since the Long Night and the Age of Heroes, the Red Kings have been the bitter rivals of the Kings of Winter, the Starks of Winterfell. The Boltons achieved some success against the Starks over the centuries, but the tide of power would soon turn back to the Starks each time the Boltons made any real progress. King Royce II and Royce IV burned Winterfell, which at the time was seen as great victories and no easy task, but the Starks would rebuild and the Boltons' power once again wane. The Boltons are said to have flayed the skins of several Stark lords and hung them in the Dreadfort. According to rumour, some Bolton lords went as far as wearing the flayed skins of their enemies, including Starks, as cloaks. One known case of this was the son of Bell the Bard, who became Lord of Winterfell. This practice has given the Boltons a dark reputation in the north and beyond, in the other kingdoms in the south. The last Red King, Rogar the Huntsman, finally submitted to Winterfell when the Andals invaded Westeros. King Theon Stark, the Hungry Wolf, and the Boltons defeated Argos Sevenstar and his Andals in the Battle of the Weeping Water. This battle and the coming together of House Stark and Bolton to some is seen as one of the key reasons the North remained in the hands of the First Men and did not fall to the Andals, and thus the North kept its traditions and cultural independence, not being Andalicized. Thousands of years ago, the Dreadfort rose in an unsuccessful rebellion, allying with the Grey Starks of the Wolf's Den against the Starks. The Grey Starks were an offshoot of House Stark themselves, through one of the minor branches. The Boltons survived the rebellion, although the Grey Starks were extinct by the end of it. This would be one of many rebellions over the centuries, with House Bolton never really accepting their vassalization. The Boltons threatened Winterfell during the reign of King Edric Snowbeard. At some point, unspecified centuries ago, the Boltons rebelled against the Starks. The Stark army besieged Dreadfort for 2 years before the Boltons capitulated to King Harlan Stark and dipped their banners once more. The Boltons did bend their knees to Winterfell in the end, and the uprisings stopped. They even agreed to abandon their practice of flaying their enemies. For many centuries, the Boltons have remained loyal to the Starks, but the relationship between them has never been good. It has been described as icy at best. They were never going to be the fiercest of allies. Rumours still persist they continue to flay their prisoners in secret, but by this point, most of their prisoners tend to be small folk who commit crimes rather than princes of Winterfell. It's also said that they maintain a hidden chamber beneath the Dreadfort to display the skins of their enemies. Some think the Boltons are the source of these rumours, with their intent of maintaining their dark image, keep a certain level of fear about them. Fear they can use to control. Their sigil is of red flayed man on a pale pink spotted with red blood drops. Their words are said by George R. R. Martin to be "Our blades are sharp." House Bolton did not play much of a role during the Targaryen era. The only event of note was when Barbara Bolton attended the Maiden's Day Castle show in King's Landing, but Aegon III Targaryen chose to wear Daenerys Velaryon instead of Barbara, who was always considered a rather long shot. Later, when Lord Eddard Stark called the banners of the North to fight in Robert's rebellion, Lord Roose Bolton took up arms, fighting in the Battle of the Trident. Afterwards, he counselled that Lord Robert Baratheon should slash the throat of the legendary Kingsguard knight, Sir Barristan Selmy. But Robert instead sent for his own maester to treat the wounds of Barristan the Bold, who fought with honour during the battle. This takes us up to the current story in the books, which is beyond the scope for this video. But in brief, the Boltons fought alongside Robb Stark, king in the north during the War of Five Kings. Lord Roose Bolton is seen as one of Robb's best and most trusted generals, though Catelyn Stark did warn her son that Roose Bolton was not a man to be trusted. After a series of questionable decisions by King Robb, mainly him breaking his marriage pact with the Freys, Roose conspired with Tywin Lannister and Walder Frey to murder Robb and Catelyn Stark, along with many loyal Northmen at the Red Wedding. As a reward, Roose was named Warden of the North and given Winterfell and all the Stark lands. Roose's bastard son Ramsay took Winterfell and set it on fire. He was believed to have killed Bran and Rickon Stark in the process, but unknowing to him they had escaped. The Boltons now rule the North, with Roose marrying Ramsay to a fake Arya Stark to help strengthen their claim to the north. Their position is not as secure as they would like, with many houses still loyal to the Starks, and Stannis Baratheon marching an army south from the Wall. Although the Boltons finally have power in the north, they must now fight to keep hold of it. The Boltons' seat is the Dreadfort, a fitting seat for a house with a history as grim as the Boltons. It fits their reputation and nature. It's located on the banks of the Upper Weeping Water, southeast of the Lonely Hills and north of the Sheephead Hills, making it a very defendable position to have a castle. The Dreadfort is north of Hornwood, south of Lasthalf, and southwest of Carhold, locating it between some key houses, who also happen to be key to holding the north. The Dreadfort is a strong fortress, with high walls, and triangular merlons that look like sharp stone teeth. It has thick stone walls and massive towers. The only castle in the north harder to take would be Winterfell itself, or perhaps Smoke Cailin. Its great hall is dim and smoky, with rows of torches grasped by skeletal human hands jutting out from the walls. Long tables stand before a dais with high table. The hall has vaulted ceilings and wooden rafters turned black from smoke. The inside of the castle truly matches its grim exterior. It is said that the Boltons keep torture chambers and a special room where they hang the flayed skins of their enemies, including several kings in the north. This gets confirmed in the main book series with the experiences of Theon Greyjoy. Like the Starks of Winterfell, the Boltons of old are buried beneath the Dreadfort. However, it is not clear if the Red Kings of old are included in this.